A devastating personal tragedy forged the strength and resilience of Princess Mary of Denmark. Discover the heartbreaking story of the loss of her mother, Henrietta Donaldson, when Mary was only 25. A touching, royal, and human tale. Subscribe, share, comment, and ring the bell to never miss the most intimate and moving royal stories. Today, she is the very image of grace, elegance, and royal duty. Mary of Denmark, who became a princess upon marrying Crown Prince Frederik, then Queen Consort in 2024, embodies quiet strength and a constant commitment to her people. But behind her kind smile and impeccable demeanor, lies a deep, intimate wound that she has carried with dignity for more than 2 decades. The sudden loss of her mother, Henrietta Donaldson, when she was only 25 years old. This tragedy, little publicized at the time, marked a silent turning point in the life of the woman who was then just a young Australian woman, with no apparent connection to the splendor of the Danish crown. Henrietta Donaldson, a warm, cultured, and loving woman, was much more than a mother to Mary. She was her role model, her reference point, her emotional anchor in a world that was opening up to her with all the uncertainty of youth. A trained teacher, involved in the Hobart, Tasmania, community, Henrietta raised her 4 children with a mixture of caring rigor and encouraging freedom. She deeply believed in education, respect, and the ability of each person to find their own path. Mary, the youngest of the siblings, grew up with her and admired her unabashed strength and sense of justice. But in 1997, fate took a sudden turn. Henrietta died suddenly at the age of 58, leaving her 25-year-old daughter, Mary, in a state of profound dismay. This death came at the very moment when Mary was beginning to search for her career, exploring the first avenues of a career in marketing, and still dreaming of a future that had yet to be written. The shadow of this grief then settled permanently in her life. The pain of this loss would follow her, silent but constant, in all the future stages of her existence. This emotional shock occurred just a few years before her chance encounter with Prince Frederik at the 2000 Sydney Olympics. An encounter that now seems written by destiny, but one that Mary approached with caution and maturity. Those who knew her then recall a reserved young woman, with a lively but melancholic gaze, a natural elegance imbued with a touching gravity. It is no coincidence that Frederik, himself raised in a world of strict protocol, was immediately drawn to Mary's depth, to her ability to listen, to understand, to never judge. A wisdom acquired far too early, through grief and reconstruction. The death of a mother at such a young age leaves an indelible mark. Mary, although she rarely speaks about it in public, has on rare occasions mentioned the crucial importance of this maternal figure in the construction of her identity. She confided that her mother had instilled in her the art of observing before speaking, of always seeking to understand others, and of remaining true to oneself even in life's storms. Mary embodied these values brilliantly over the years, becoming a discreet but solid pillar of the Danish monarchy. Her discretion was never synonymous with self-effacement, but with depth. And this depth is most likely rooted in this founding loss. At her wedding to Frederik in 2004, an absence hung in the air. Many commentators noted Mary's pensive gaze at certain moments of the ceremony, and the symbolic place given to Henrietta Donaldson in the speeches and memories. She was there, in the shadows, in her daughter's heart, amidst a room filled with crowns, titles, and meticulously executed protocol. Mary, dressed in white, was beginning a new life, but carried within her the vivid memory of the one who had prepared her to face the headwinds. Becoming a mother herself, Mary passed on to her children, Christian, Isabella, Vincent, and Josephine, the lessons learned from her own mother. A caring upbringing, open-mindedness, respect for others, a sense of responsibility. Today's Queen of Denmark is also, in some ways, Henrietta's faithful daughter. She has often emphasized that her parenting style was inspired not by the monarchy, but by her own family experiences in Tasmania. A simple but rich childhood, full of warmth and modest rituals, such as family breakfasts or long walks in nature. These memories have shaped a modern and loving mother. Grief shaped Mary without confining her. It gave her perspective, that unique nuance, that gentle lucidity, and the ability to embrace the world's complexity without cynicism. As a princess and then queen, she made mental health a priority. Perhaps in memory of the silent journey she had to take after her mother's death, when few structures existed to support grieving young adults. She became involved with numerous foundations, particularly those that help children and families facing early losses. A personal struggle that became public, born quietly but with total conviction. Abroad as in Denmark, Mary is often perceived as a reassuring, compassionate, and warm figure. A woman who never sought to embody a role but to fully live out a mission. If so many Danes identify with her, it's because she doesn't mask her flaws, but transforms them into strength. The loss of a mother is one of the most universal wounds there is. And Mary, by the way she talks about it without ever exploiting it, by her ability to continue moving forward while honoring this memory, inspires thousands of people across the world. The years pass, but the memory of Henrietta Donaldson remains alive in her daughter's heart. During official speeches, Mary's voice sometimes trembles with emotion when discussing family, inheritance, and deep values. She doesn't always mention her mother explicitly, but we sense that everything within her is nourished by that lost love. This is what makes Queen Mary so different, so close, so true. A sovereign who knows the price of absence, and who transforms this knowledge into a soothing presence for others. As the years pass, and the Danish monarchy evolves under her benevolent gaze, Mary continues to grow, not in honors, but in the hearts of her people. She embodies a new form of royalty, less flamboyant, more human, more connected to real life. And in every smile she offers, in every hand she holds, in every word she speaks, there is perhaps, in the background, the discreet but constant breath of the one who loved her first, her mother. As Mary becomes one of the most respected faces of European royalty, what remains deep in her heart of this young Australian woman who, at 25, saw her world crumble? And you, do you think that intimate pain, when transformed into strength, can become the foundation of authentic and lasting greatness?